Hello everyone, this is ICO Talk. My name is Yelena, and today my guest is Itamar Weizman, a founder and Chief Operating Officer of Cool Cousin. Hello Itamar, thanks for joining us today.
It's a pleasure joining you, Yelena.
Okay, please first of all tell us a few words about the project. What is it all about, and what's the main idea behind?
So Cool Cousin is a 3-year-old company. We are a VC-backed company, so we already raised $2 million about a year and a half ago. We have over 500,000 users worldwide. We're operating in 75 cities in over 50 countries.
Wow.
And what we do is we help travelers find incredible recommendations by locals and essentially help them plan their trip from a local perspective. So instead of using TripAdvisor and top 10 best lists that don't necessarily fit everyone, we want to help travelers find out how to experience a city through a local's perspective. So what we do is we curate a community of locals around the world. We're live in Moscow, for example, and in a few weeks we're going to be live in St. Petersburg, and we're also live in New York, Barcelona, London, in Berlin, in San Francisco, all over the world. And we even launched Asia, like Asian cities like Singapore and Taipei not long ago. And in each of those cities, we have a community of locals, each of them from a different background. So one could be a 30-year-old designer or a 45-year-old chef, or a 20-year-old student, or a 65-year-old gallery manager. And each one of those people has their own map of the city. So you basically pick a local you love, and you get their map of the city with all of their recommendations. And it's not just a cafe or bar or restaurant. It could also be a hidden shop or a secret street that they love wandering in. Now, we started with maps, and then we allowed our travelers, our users, to message their cousin, their favorite local, with a question. So you can ask them questions like, which is the best neighborhood for my Airbnb? Or is there any cool festivals going on this weekend? Or how do I get tickets for an NBA game? So basically, you have a local to advise with. Now, we've been doing this for 2-3 years, and we've been featured as App of the Week by Apple. USA Today picked us as best travel app. And LA Times, New York Times, they all featured us, and we have really tens of thousands of downloads a week. And we decided to decentralize our platform. Now,
yes, that's what I wanted to ask. What's the role of blockchain in this whole scheme?
It's a great question. And now a lot of us, we're 5 founders, 4 and myself, and our CTO has been in blockchain for like 6-7 years. So he introduced us to blockchain and the powers of decentralization just a few years ago. And we saw that it fits our vision to create the first decentralized peer-to-peer travel agency. So our vision is a place where you can, as a traveler, you can contact any local in the world you want without having to have a mediator, with no one in the middle, and you can use their services. Now, it's not just about maps and recommendations and messages. It's also about having a concierge, someone to book your restaurant, to do your airline ticketing, to find you a hotel. So this person is a local on the ground who will do all your travel agency services and could also help you out with whatever you need. And now, the reason we decided to tokenize is that we created CUZ, C-U-Z. It's an ERC20 compatible utility token. And that is the form from which travelers are going to pay our cousins, our local recommenders. Now, our token is not only there as a digital payment mechanism, it's also there because we want to create a incentive mechanism for our cousins. So up until now, all of our cousins have been volunteers. They applied to us to become a cousin. Now we are able to compensate them for their time, their hard work, and their services. But another main reason why we decided that blockchain fits our product and our model is because we want to create an unbiased platform. So I will explain. TripAdvisor has become a place where a lot of business interests kind of defect the content. It creates biased content. It's hard to understand whether you can trust a recommendation online. Yes. And the reason we want to move onto a decentralized model is because we believe it will help us sustain an unbiased community where people actually recommend what they love and everything is transparent. Blockchain allows us to create that platform and allows us to support that. So I think with combining with the fact that we're trying to disrupt the biggest industry in the world, travel, and combining with the fact that we already have 500,000 and growing numbers of users, and that we're already live in all 5 continents in 75 cities globally. And by the way, we are launching a new city every 4 days. So just this week, we are launching four cities. New Orleans, for example, and Tbilisi, Georgia, and lots of great places.
And how many cities are there on board already?
75 live, with over 1,000 cousins, 1,000 of local recommenders, already live, part of our community. Tens of thousands of people have been, hundreds of thousands of people have been using them. And we have about 10,000 in the pipeline, so that we are going to release gradually in the coming weeks.
Wow, that's great. And tell me a few words about this market. What's the volume of the tourist market, actually?
So the tourism market is insane. It has basically surpassed the energy industry as the biggest industry in the world. And this, to show you the growth, in 1960, there was 50 million travelers in the world. Right now, 2018, 1.3 billion. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are going crazy, and people are traveling more and more because of globalization. Yeah, and I think Cool Cousin is in a great position to disrupt the growing travel industry.
Okay, are you the only one on the market, or are there any similar projects?
So we're the only travel recommendation platform that connects travelers with locals to get exceptional advice. And I think we're also the only ones who are doing it on blockchain. That's for sure.
So we don't have any competitors, actually.
In terms of other ICOs and other blockchains, we don't see any at the moment. But we welcome competition. I'm sure it'll help us grow, and it will prove that there is a huge market for what we're doing. By the way, there are a lot of ICOs in the world of travel, but doing completely different things, especially in the worlds of logistics and planning, and not in the world of, not for the point of view of the consumer, more for airlines. So you have great companies like Winding Tree that are doing great stuff in travel for blockchain, but they're not competitors.
Okay. Actually, I would just want to ask you once again, because I just didn't get it. So you've been working for 2 years already, yes? And all these
2.5 years.
Okay, and all those cousins were volunteers to the moment. How did you manage to attract them to this?
That's a great question. So when we launched the company and when we launched the product, I personally recruited cousins in London and Paris and Berlin and Tel Aviv. I personally did it. That's how we did for the first 50, 100 cousins, something like that. But then once we launched our product, we had massive organic growth, and people started to apply at our website to become a cousin. Now we've improved our process, and now anyone can become a cousin. They just need to go through an application. And right now we get like 2,000-3,000 applications a month. So much more than we can handle. And that's how we've been growing.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Tell me about your team, please.
Yes. So we're 20 people working from Tel Aviv, and we also have a few team members in London. I'm our head of operations and community. We have really fantastic developers. Israel has a great export of really talented developers, especially coming out from the intelligence units of the IDF. So we have Gil Azriland. He's my co-founder and CTO. He's a blockchain developer and early day Ethereum enthusiast. Really great person. He's a warfare officer. We have Nadav Saadia. He's our head of marketing, had his own marketing agency. Shahar Kotani. He's our head of product and head design. He's an award-winning designer who did international products for great companies. We have a fantastic head of content, Daniel Silverberg, who was an editor of one of Israel's biggest newspapers. We have really fantastic people, more developed. We have 8 developers, if I'm not mistaken. 8 if you count everyone. And 2 designers. You have 3 marketers. And you have Callum, who's also head of our community, working from London, and a media buyer. So we have a really great team. And we have a great advisory. Working from all over the world with us. So it's fun. And, it's one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves from other ICOs is that we have a proven track record. We have been working as a team for a few years. This is not a few months. We've been working together. We've built our company together. So here we are. And now we're launching our token.
Okay. Let's speak about the ICO now. First of all, tell us the soft cap and the hard cap.
So the soft cap is 4,000 Ethereum. And the hard cap is 17,500 Ethereum. So it's quite a modest number in terms of what we're trying to push through. But the reason we headed to a modest number is because, first of all, we're not greedy. We want to create a budget that fits us for 3-4 years. And that's the main reason we wanted to settle for 17.5 Ethereum, to make sure that we have a direct plan to use all the funds. And at our white paper, we have a projection of the use of proceeds and how exactly we're using our budget for the coming years.
Still tell us a few words. What will be the key milestones of development of the project? What for do you need this particular sum?
Of course. So right now we're in the ICO launch, and we're going to issue our own wallet in about 4 or 5 months. So about July, August, we're going to launch our own wallet inside our app, which is going to allow users to start using our token so they could use it for services. Now, by the end of the year, we are going to launch a Pro Cousins, which is basically the travel agent model. We're also going to launch an Android version. Right now, we're available as a native app for iPhone and a web app for all web users. But our Android version is coming this year. Next year, we're going to do an API launch. We're going to do collaborations with government and other organizations and business partners integration. And by the end of next year, we're going to launch the 4th version of the app, which is going to be with a total different look, and it's going to allow all users to use our token, to buy services with our token. Our cousins will be able to receive tokens as compensation for their work, so they will monetize on their knowledge. So we expect everything to happen very soon.
Okay. You have already mentioned several times your tokens, but still, tell us, please, what will be the key benefits for the token holders?
So our token is basically going to be usable inside our app. They could buy travel tickets with it, event tickets with it. They could use it for their own traveling needs, everything. But other than that, we are a growing company. So we're growing our own market and our own economy. So every token holder will take part in that growth.
Okay. And what do you personally think about the future of this ICO market in the world in general, about its perspectives?
Of course. So I think on the one hand, ICOs present a very exciting way to create a community, to create a product, and to decentralize whatever product or whatever kind of world of whatever industry you're working on. So I think in that sense, tokens could really revolutionize the way companies are interacting with consumers, and also shift behavior onto a more sound economical behavior where communities have more power. So in that sense, I really love how blockchain empowers users rather than what we see now with huge internet corporations like Google, Amazon, and Facebook, where they reach the point where it's too dangerous. They have too much power, too much money, too much information over us, and too much control. So I hope ICOs and tokenization will bring back control to the users who basically create what we call the internet, right? So without them, the internet couldn't survive. But on the other hand, I think ICOs still and blockchain still has a lot to go in terms of regulation, in terms of legal enforcement, and in terms of also a lot of the scams we see. So we as a company, we see ourselves as a sound, reasonable, legitimate, and rational company that, try to walk a very straight line, and we have great legal team working with us. But you see other ICOs that, it's hard to understand what their model is, why they're raising so much, what they're doing, who they are. So in that sense, I think other ICOs who want to succeed need to make sure that they invoke trust in everyone they reach out to. That's why I, as a co-founder, take all the interviews and make sure that we present ourselves transparently and thoroughly, and we answer every question on our Telegram. You can join our Telegram at t.me/coolcousin and see that we try to be extremely responsive and respect every question and give it an honest answer.
Great. Okay, and just to sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences, in very, very brief, why should I invest in Cool Cousin?
If you believe that the travel world needs to shake up itself from companies like TripAdvisor and companies that are ruining the travel experiences, and if you want to take part in disrupting the travel industry and you believe in our vision, then you understand that the travel market is going to grow and grow, and you should take part in our growth. and hold our token in order to also use it in our platform, but also enjoy the market's growth.
Okay, then Itamar, thank you so much for being with us today and for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. And I remind you that today my guest was Itamar Weizman, a co-founder and chief operating officer of Cool Cousin. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more interesting videos. Bye-bye.